Welcome back. Before we went on a break, we were discussing organic agriculture with Brian Omoke, who is an expert in organic farming. Brian, take it up.
Remember, the GM seed is actually not that effective, right? So by the end of the day, they might claim that farmers wouldn't need spraying of herbicides and pesticides, but at the end of the day, the farmer must and will spray the pesticides and herbicides. Why? Because the seed itself, the GM seeds, especially the mountain and the cotton seeds that they want to introduce, they actually engineered to absorb more chemicals. So the whole point of it is actually for the farmer to buy more chemicals to be able to spray at it. So it's, when you compare you go down the line of true cost accounting, organic always comes on top in terms of comparing the two systems.
Okay, but don't you think there are challenges that will face farmers who want to go organic? Like, are these natural resources available in the same place? You're talking about application of manure. I mean, if I have a 10-acre land, where will I get enough manure to use on my farm? Really? How can you help a farmer who is in that kind of a place?
Yeah, so when we're talking about organic, we're not talking only of small-scale kind of production. We have a lot of enterprises that do hundreds of acres in organic. So organic is actually mechanizable. You can mechanize organic. You can use, we have certified organic inputs, for example. It's not a must that we are tied to the use of manure. We have a lot of natural resources that you can use, fertilizers you can use in large systems of production that actually maintains the health of the soil.
So Brian, what are the precautions that farmers should ensure to observe while applying manure to their farms?
The manure should not be fresh, from the animals themselves, from the livestock, simply because the fresh manure usually have a lot of bacteria and salmonellas, which may be harmful to us humans, really, and also to the microorganisms in the soil. And also the fresh manure have a scorching effect. So when you apply it directly to your farm, it's bound to have some scorching effects on your plants, which as a farmer you don't want to have that. So it's advisable that you decompose it 2 to 3 months, then be able to apply it to your farm.
For a farmer who is thinking that they've been for the longest time been using practicing conventional farming, how can they be able to convert now to organic farming?
Now, for a conventional farmer to be really an organic farmer, and I'm talking about to the perspective of being certified and be able to be recognized as an organic farmer, you have there's a period that this farmer has to go through, and it's called a transition period. It's usually a period of 3 years, approximately 3 years. So you have to allow your farm to heal. You have to allow your farm to get loose of the synthetic pesticides that you've been using. So through that period of 3 years, it's approximated that your farm would have gained its nutrients and its fertility for you to be able to enjoy the full benefits of organic. And now at that period you can be able to be certified and go to the market and claim, you know what, my products are organic, and here is my certificate, or here is how I'm certified. So that's the good thing about just being an organic farmer. You're actually adding value to your farming system without doing much of it.
Okay, that brings me to a very interesting question, because this day you walk into a supermarket or you walk into a grocery store and everything has been labeled organic. Is there a way that you can actually be able to really know that this product is indeed organic?
Yes, the one most basic way is you have to look at the mark, yes? So for example, in the East African community, we have a mark, we call it the Kilimo Hai mark. So once you enter into a supermarket, you can easily go to your products and look at it. You can see a label there that says Kilimo Hai. So once you see that label, then that product is actually certified organic. So we have other international labels. We're talking about the European Union. They have their own certification mark. When you go to the US, they have their own certification mark, the USDA mark. So there are a lot of systems that are in place to actually make sure that your product is organic. And one of the ways is actually to look at those certifications on your product. Yeah.
So there is also something you mentioned, and you said that organic farming is not as expensive as many people perceive it to be. But why is it that those stores that stock organically produced products seem to be very expensive?
Well, it's just a question of supply and demand. So when you have a lot of demand, prices always tend to go high, and when you have a low supply of products, the prices, and there is high demand, the prices obviously try to go high. So right now what we are having is that people are, want to consume these products and they're not easily available, hence the rise in price. But that being said, if we take again true cost accounting of what organic is about and their conventional counterparts, you'll actually find organic is the cheapest food that we can ever have. So I'm talking about the health complications that comes with the other systems of production. So, and again, we are having, rise of non-communicable diseases. Why? Because we are feeding on poor diets. The diets and the produce that we're feeding, they're actually nutrient deficient. Why? Because of the pesticides that we are using. For example, glyphosate right now, it's actually confirmed that it actually takes nutrients from the soil that a plant is supposed to absorb, and the end result is when you're taking that crop, the crops will be less of that nutrients. So you're actually taking crops that are less nutrients. So when you're talking about the negative effects that these produce that are grown from the conventional world that have on your body, and also into the environment, because they are killing the ecosystem itself. Climate change is happening. Why? Because of our poor farming systems, not taking about the high energy cost that the conventional farming system uses, not taking into account the large amount of greenhouse gases the conventional system produces. So if we take the true cost accounting of all that the conventional world is doing to our food system and the environment, in the end you get that organic is actually very cheap. Yeah.
I hope everybody will be able to see it like that.
Yeah.
So what are the examples of the organic fertilizers available and where are they stocked?
So locally we have a lot of brands that are selling organic fertilizers. So for example, we have ABI Organics, which they produce very good fertilizers and biopesticides. We have Organics Limited, they produce a lot of pesticides and fertilizers. So if you really want and you're looking for organic options and alternatives, they are there and they're there in plenty.
Where can people get this information about organic farming?
There are a lot of ways. Personally, that's what I do. I write and share a lot of information on organic farming. That's at my personal blog site. So it's called theorganici.com. So if you go there, I write a lot about what organic is all about and some of the developments that are happening in the organic sector. And again, organicadventures.org, we do a lot of content there in terms of what organic is all about, interviewing farmers who are already doing organic farming and sharing the inspiration on why they're doing organic farming. So in the country, we have the Kenya Organic Agriculture Network, which also advocates for organic farmers and organic practitioners. We have Organic Consumers Alliance, which is very big in terms of advocating and letting you know information on why you should consume organics. So there is a lot of organizations that are giving a lot of information on what is organic is all about. If you really want it, then you'll get those kind of information.
What are the processes that a farmer needs to go through in order to be certified as an organic farmer?
So for you to be certified an organic farmer, of course you have, for me I usually say you have to have the right mindset to do organic farming. So that means you have to change from quick fix to actually trying to understand the problem which you are facing as the farmer. So in terms of just waking up and seeing a person going by and spraying, you have to take an approach of what can I do to reduce the impact and the effect of the pest that I'm seeing. So one of the steps is, of course, you have to go through the transition period, the 3-year period, to try and nourish your soils and try and understand how organic works and the systems that you have to put in place, and understanding your area and your environment on what works best.
As we come to the end of our show, what is that parting shot that you want to leave the viewers with?
My parting shot will be the time to go organic is now. The health implications that we're having, those are some of the challenges that organic is ready with to offer solutions. We also need a lot of support from the government. It's high time that we've been pushing for the organic policy, for example, for a lot of years now, over a decade, but we have not been able to get it. So it's time that the government actually know that as organic farmers, we need their help. So we need to be in that budget that is being allocated to agriculture. We see a lot of our counterparts in the conventional sector getting a lot of subsidies in terms of pesticides and fertilizers, and we already know the harms that it's causing to the environment. Why can't organic farmers get the same?
So Brian, thank you so much for that insightful conversation about organic farming. And to our viewers, many thanks for keeping it here on Get It Right. I was your host, Susan Mwangi. For now, it's bye-bye. See you again.